Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today AO1 versus 1 on Pripyat Winter battlefield. Yes, indeed, the Winter battlefield, sort of a more of a comp stompy map, but currently it's in the auto match rotation, so we of course have to go with it if there's a good match. And by Jove, I've actually got a good match for you today, so I'm quite excited. In fact, I'm recording this at midnight just in case Relic puts out a patch while I'm sleeping. So yeah, have at it, Relic, and have at it, Duffy. In the moonlight, we shall be watching two forces clash. It shall be Pinky fighting for the Soviet Union, rolling out the Soviet red banner in the name of the, I don't know, bloody hell, now I forgot, but 35th Tank Corps. Opposing him shall be StephennJF. Steven, a veteran confused player, fighting in the name of the Grossdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division. It's going to be one hell of a clash. Lots of armor, lots of explosions, lots of good things to watch. And of course this map is a bit different from the regular Pripyat in several ways. Partly there's of course frozen, it's ice, it's snowy. It's also moonlight, so of course rather different lighting, which of course is quite different. But also the way it's a battlefield map, so the resources also up more differently. They're more, 50-50 sort of squaring off that way. More munitions, and also now all the victory points are rather clustered around this. And we've also got some more unique points. We've got the watchtower, which again grants increased line of sight and can be garrisoned. And then we get these vehicle repair facilities, which provide troops to repair your vehicles. Basically like a repair bunker, except you can capture it, it can't be wrecked. So in that sense, some new things. And we also know here, in fact, that Steven is rather keen on getting it. Ja, ich must keep in mein Panzers completely in tip-top shape. But, Herr Hauptmann, we don't have any Panzers. Don't make me send you to Leningrad. Okay, I'll keep quiet. And meanwhile, plenty of conscripts moving a bit north here. Also noting here, immediately Pinky sets about creating a fuel cache. So clearly, we've already getting some intention of what Pinky wants to do. And it's likely going to involve fuel. Again, he's also right for this one. So again, tanks is considerably likely to be in Pinky's future. Where Steven, the more laid-back Australian, of course, is just taking it more, casually straight ahead. Of course, not without intent or purpose, but also less likely to give away any sort of devious plans going on in that Australian noggin. Yes, I'm going rather hard on him being Australian, right? Yeah, I'll stop that. I've got nothing against Australians. I know, he's just fun to tease. He's a great guy. Points there being secured, munitions being secured. Again, rather heavy southern bend, and we are seeing additional conscripts up here. Small engagement up here by the northern fuel, of course trying to deny it to his German opponent as well. Clearly again, there's a clear pattern going on here with Pinky. Question is, can Steven divine it already? Again, we have seen harassment opponent's fuel, and we're seeing heavy focus on gaining himself. We're also seeing a sniper up to 2 Grenadiers. Sniper, if he gets an MG, that's definitely going to be the 2 Grenadier MG sniper build, which again is considerably used amongst many German players from Company of Heroes. And again, we're seeing some of those veterans actually trying to reapply it to the second game. There we go, the combat engineers, after one shot from the Gewehr 43, quickly gets the devil out of there. We see here harassing the vehicle point, and the conscripts rather go, I do not think we need this point, comrades. I think we should move on to deny the fascists more valuable resources. So of course a bit of action there, pushing up there. More conscript Nicky from Pinky. Icky. And there we go, the MG42 doesn't indeed pop up, and there we go, the 2 Grenadier squads moving against the conscripts here. Small engagement, but he has cut off, and thus in fact with one swift and terrible blow, he's just cut off Steven from all of his resources. So again, Pinky clearly having a nasty strategy of harassment going on here. Well done, certainly something to very much take note of here from Pinky. I mean, again, he's got a clear strategy, and he's clearly enacting that strategy. Well, for that matter, I suppose it's more of a tactic strategy. It's more, I know, man, either way, there's clearly a clear plan going on here from Los Pincador, and he's not going to be stopped from it. Conscripts though pushing in, and his pioneers will not be able to stem the Soviet tide. And there we go, the pioneers are swept away. like the defenders before Orsha. Got more grenadiers moving up. Stephen might want to consider upgrading them with light machine guns to increase their firepower, except he can't because the resources are disconnected. So in that sense, Stephen's troops are currently heavily overextended, having to hold a lot of territory, and again that's the problem with this sort of build. It was in Company Hughes, it is in Company Hughes too. He's not really good for holding a lot of territory, and if it gets overwhelmed by infantry, it's going to collapse. Sniper on the bridge. Grenadiers moving up there again. I think Stephen would greatly benefit from a lighter machine and gewehr. And then meanwhile, the sniper continues to lay down glorious German bullets of death against the advancing conscripts. Holding up here in the north. Combat engineers pushing up south. MG moving in. Likely taking up, yes indeed. Much here like to mechanized company. And there we go. We are in fact seeing an armoured rush going in from Pinky. And it's already 6 minutes in. I mean, clearly again, we are seeing something clearly going on here. And again, that's what the Russians can do. They can take ahead so much faster because there's less wasted time and less wasted resources in that sense. Whereas again, as with Germany, you want to do, you really have to basically end up spending a lot of resources just ticking up. And there's nothing to, if something goes wrong, they can then fall back on. In this case, I mean, Pinky can always, use something from the Special Rifle Command, snipers, penal troops, scout cars if necessary, though clearly that is not his intent. And again, clear strategy, again, constantly going for the fuel, constantly trying to deny Stephen that precious fuel, going to make it very difficult. If he's not going for there, it's going for there. Although, of course, now with this, I mean, it's not going to be easy, but again, there's a clear battle strategy on here. And we'll likely be seeing some tanks very soon. I mean, this is going to be quite the vehicular rush to lob against the Grossdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division. And it was always a Panzergrenadier Division. I never think it actually got to the state of Panzer Division, but still, it was pretty much the premier Panzergrenadier Division, and it was in fact, equipped better than most Panzer Divisions. And in fact, it was also one of the few to have its own Tigers. And also note here, doctrinally, we are seeing two doctrines with Tigers. We're seeing the Assault Support and we're seeing the Spearhead Doctrine. We're also seeing the Festung Support. So in that sense, I imagine this is Stephen's defensive doctrine, something to fall back on if it all goes tits up. Of course, Spearhead can also be quite practical. In fact, I quite like it. And of course, Assault Support is also quite nice. In fact, it gives the Officer, which is definitely one of my favourite units. The Tiger is also quite handy. But this one can also be quite nice because it gives you Panzer Tactician. Again, I love that ability. And we are seeing a large force being sent in here by Pinky, several combat engineers and a smaller detachment being sent south. Again, a larger pronged assault going in here, and again, no light machine guns for Stephen's infantry. I'm slightly disappointed in that. MG head up here, set up by the watchtower. Grenadiers pulling back across the ice, the sniper leading the way. Another Grenadier squad up north, Pioneers pushing down here. We do see the light mechanized company up. We also note here a medic bunker up for Kamerad Stephen. And the Soviets actually pull away in the face of this spirited German resistance in the snow, in the blizzard. And this is looking slightly odd. But there we go. Stephen is for now holding a nice front, quite remarkably. But also we're seeing here that Mr. Pinky is waiting at any time to launch up an assault up south, and we've finally seen some Panzer Grenadiers arriving, heavy equipped with Sturmgewehrs. And of course the Grossdeutschland named because, in fact, rather than what most German divisions did, was just take recruits from very specific parts of Germany, or Bavaria, Prussia, Saxon, Baden-Baden? I know. I mean, the Grossdeutschland took from all across Germany. So, a bit of fun there, a bit of fun there. And there we go, 9 minutes in, first T-44-76, and again, Stephen can't do much, he simply can't. The only thing he can get up is a pack, so again, good use of Soviet play there, going for his advantages, going for his strengths, and now going for another one, which of course is a much faster to get T-34-76, and again, that's, also why it's not, the super tank, because it's so much easier to get, it costs a lot less, barely any manpower in comparison to other tanks, and also a lot less fuel. And it's still quite nice against infantry. That, of course, is also the important thing to remember. It's got quite some good splash damage for what it costs. And it's got a turret. I mean, if you can use this properly, I mean, you can actually do a lot of damage to a German player. And I suspect here that Stephen heard it. Stephen knows that's bad news. Although we also see now some of his Grenadiers being equipped with the light machine gun. And there we go, spotting them out in the ice. Opening up. Pulling back there towards the fire, and looks like the T-34 will be rolling in. And there we go, crossing the ice, sniper fires away. Panzergrenadier has been quick with a punch of Schreck. T-34 moves up, and quick Panzerfaust there from the Grenadiers. Panzerschrecks just get it down to half health. And at the same time, we see an assault going in here. Grenade, Gebaldeladung, only getting 2 troops though. It's not necessarily that good. MG42 though tears into the advancing Soviet infantry sniper as well. And the T-34 is going to need to be pulled away. Veterans 1 already for the Panzer Grenadiers. Going to cross the ice and quickly going to hunt down that Sovietische Panzer. And looks like 1 unit actually went down to the few Panzer Grenadiers still equipped with anti-infantry weapons. Quickly getting into the watchtower. Quickly moved there by Stephen. And the T-34 though makes it back to safety. We also see Guards infantry arriving here for Pinky. Equipped with our anti-tank rifles, like will be equipped with light machine guns as well. And the pack is up. We also see the sniper being pushed away though. Too much pressure from the Guards troops. And a few Guards infantry or conscripts moving up there south. Hiccups. Curse you.
Half-track ready. Pack loaded for Panzerhunt. Unit ready. And our heater is working too.
And we're seeing a half-track up here for Stephen, like this reinforced troops at the front. Quickly removing all the sandbags. Not entirely sure what Stephen is actually intending with it right there. And a telemine Stephen, of course, intending to perhaps catch a few of those tanks in the snow. And of course it likely will not be the last T-34 we see from Pinky. Troops secure there. Overall, Stephen is holding out nicely, but again, as time progresses, I imagine Pinky will be adding more T-34s. And we also, of course, noting here that Pinky's actually taking good care of his tanks, which is, of course, also important. Good unit preservation, which is really nice to see. Grenadiers and snipers taking out a chunk here of the conscripts, making getting a larger push again. Might also go for here and again try to cut off Stephen's resources. We are also seeing that Stephen's actually taking up. It's actually time to look at Mr. Pinky, who in fact has got himself a second T-34 and likely will be getting another one soon. In fact, in about 2 minutes he can get himself a second T-34. I mean, that's quite a high rate of basically getting armor. So of course is something that really should be taken into mind. And of course another important thing about T-34s is that they veterancy up very quickly. Of course that's also something a lot of Soviet players tend to forget. They don't need much before they hit veterans 1, 2, and once they hit veterans 2 they really begin doing a lot more damage. So there we go, rolling up, opening up on the MG crew, and we rather find here that Stephen realizes he can't hold back the Soviet offensive. The 30th Tank Corps moves up. MG crew under fire, a second T-34 roaming down south. MG crew getting shot there. Troops are getting stopped by the MG42, but question is for how long will that last? Just moving over to get a better angle on the fighting. Half-track rolls up. And just note already now, it's almost Veterans 1. It's just killed a few units, in fact. And there we go, Veterans 1. So again, T-34s have a much higher rate of veterancy gain. And again, that's important to remember. You also might have to play a bit carefully with them, but again, if you can end up doing a lot of damage with them. We also know here the Guards Driver Combined Arms is chosen for Pinky, and already noting here several conscript squads with submachine guns to support the advance, and there we go, tearing out chunks of Grenadier right there. Pag also trying to come up, getting off a few good shots there on the T-34, and actually pushing in and capturing Pinky's T-34 right here, though he might reorganize and sort that out. That T-34 needs to pull up. We're also noting out 2 squads of Guards infantry, only one though equipped with the light machine guns. And soon a third T-34 will be out, and Stephen doesn't even have his own Tier 3 building out. He's only got a pack and a few Panzerschrecks designed to stop the Bolsheviks from pushing on too hard. And of course now this is also quite exposed, so Plenty of thoughts that could be here, but now the Guards infantry needs to get out there. They could very likely get cut down. I'm not sure if he's trying to repair the T-34, what he is doing with it there. Bit unclear, bit unclear. Guard infantry to the looks to make it out there. Conscripts moving up. Minor engagement down here. Conscripts or Panzergrenadiers versus the common units, and there go T-34 rolls in. Man, of course, tried to take the point and get it repaired there, but no, apparently not, which is actually a bit of a shame he didn't try that. Hit the dirt being utilised here versus the Grenadiers. In fact, clearing out the pack, allowing his T-34 to escape if he wants to. Panzergrenadiers forced away there, and of course there's another path opening up. Oh, he's... oh, the cheeky bastard. He's going to be using it to take territory. Now, that's actually the first time I think I've seen in a replay that a Soviet player actually uses T-34 veterans run to begin taking territory, and there we go. He's actually going to cut off the resources from Stevens. So again, clearly a player who knows what he's doing. Nasty little usage there of the T-34. Well done, well done. Of course, he can't shoot, but you know, just press that and it's back to combat operations. Well, there we go. Well done. And of course immediately moving it on. And there we go. Stephen is all of a sudden, again note here the tactical taking of territory, cutting Stephen off from the fuel, most importantly as well. So again, clear strategy, clear plan of operations from Pinky. And a third T-34-76. A third T-34-76. Though it will need some repairs. So 30th Tank Corps is already setting up for quite an armoured punch, though can it utilise it properly? This is of course going to be the important question. This one, for example, is going to need some repairs, most seriously. Guards Infantry continues to do a bit of work up here, but might run into some problems. And I think the sniper actually went down somewhere, I think down here in the southern retreat. Guards Infantry taking up a position in the small structure. Bun grenade quickly ends the life of 3 comrades. Still, Pinky pushes on in the name of the motherland.
Blizzard conditions are now in effect, comrade.
And there we go, we are seeing Stephen and the Grossdeutschland pushing forward here. Panzergrenadiers half track. Pack, I mean, he's sending in everything he can while he's still perhaps hoping for some armour. T-34 lurches forward and gets off a shot before pulling back again. He's worried that, you know, Stephen might be hanging something, and there we go. Pack reveals itself. Guards and conscripts getting suppressed by that MD-42. Nicely supporting the advance. Not sure why he's pulling up that T-34 there. He needs to repair, he needs the engine to really get off any sort of flanking assault. That is what he wants to go for. Bun grenade and clearing out the Guards infantry from behind the sandbags. And this T-34 really needs to get repaired. Come on, Pinky, save it, save it. In fact, it's so close to getting veterancy too, Pinky, it would be an utter waste. Oh dear, there we go, the pack's moving in. Get it out, Pinky, get it out. In fact, you just need to get it down there. In fact, you need to get that one over there as well. I mean, you don't even have to tell anyone to repair it, man. Oh, the Tellermine almost knocked it out. Almost. The gun's gone. The engine's not really looking too happy either, but good lord. Can Pinky do it? And we're seeing another T-34 moving out here, coming under fire against the Panzergrenadiers. Infantry nearby to support. Conscripts arriving. And a quick hoorah there. Might see off Stevens' Panzergrenadiers. Engineers pushed away there. Doesn't look like he actually tried to mine, which is actually quite weird considering all the munitions he has. Pinky could easily have been mining the bloody hell out of this area. Oh wait, there we go. Never mind, but still, more mines are good. Almost got that pack, but still, more mines, more mines. And there we go. Need to stop that T-34. This one seems to be getting repaired. In fact, it is fully repaired, but these combat units need to get some heat. And a 4th T-34. Finally, we see Stevens got his support armor corps up, and we're seeing the Panzer IV rolling out in the name of das Vaterland. And looks like the T-34 is going to be setting up there now for a proper flank assault. And again, going for the cut-off points. Very cleverly played there by Pinky. Pinky clearly knows what he's doing. Although Stephen is obviously not without a clue either. Oh wait, that's... Ah, never mind. Now, what I'm trying to say is he's not dumb either. He knows what he's doing.
This is our sector now. We have it.
Yes, I'm slightly tired now, of course, so perhaps a few more mistakes than should be allowed. Oh, wait. Panzer IV rolling out.
Engineer squad.
There go T-34 moving. Oh! Catches the pack. Oh, gets the crew. Well done, well done. Stephen perhaps not quite thought that one out. But he needs more armour out. He's not getting it fully repaired. In that sense, Pinky is perhaps a bit too slow. T-34 probably might get hunted down by the Panzer IV. But meanwhile, though, he is tearing up the centre. And Veterans 1 for another T-34. And the Veterans 1, almost Veterans 2 is ready. We're seeing another squad of Guards infantry arriving. 30th Tank Corps really pours it in. And there we go, half track went down, another loss there for Stephen and the Grossdeutschland. Panzer IV maneuvers through the trees, only guided by the moonlight. And finally he finds himself in direct combat with the T-34, which is again very close to Veteran G2.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
So close in fact, if he gets Veteran G2 that's actually going to be very bad news for that Panzer IV. So close, but he needs to get it away though. So close, but he can't afford to risk it not for that. Come on, Pinky, get it out of there. Guards infantry holding up the centre, and we are seeing the pack has been accrued. T-34 is basically putting down to that repair point there. Designated workshop of the Soviet Union. Very tenuous front line right there. It's time to head back to Stephen, who's not chosen a doctrine yet. That's a bit of a shame, or at least a commander, or whatever. Points are being secured. 3 squads of Panzer Grenadiers, 1 squad of Grenadiers, meaning 1 is lost. Pioneer MG mortar on the way, so going to bomb his opponent out. Panzer IV trying to get an idea of things, and we're seeing more T-34s rolling up as others are being sent away. This one, though, these two need to be taken out of the front line and getting repaired again, and we're seeing 5 T-34s for him, but he's not actually using them. In fact, he's giving Stephen more time to roll up more armour as well. And again, I mean, what Pinky's problem is actually he's letting several T-34s stand about, not really being combat effective and not trying to repair them. That's basically wasting time. If he could get them quickly repaired, quickly back into the frontline service, he could pretty much overwhelm Stephen in particular. Once that hits Veterans, he's just going to chew up the Panzers. But there we go. Pack, no. Oh, wrong way. Panzer going to spot the charge, clear out the crew, and we are seeing Stephen advancing. Panzer IV here gets buttoned up. And we are seeing, in fact, the heavily damaged T-34 running up to provide some minimal of side support. There we go. Other T-34 moving up. Veteran G2, and there we go. An absolute huge trap has just been set off right there by Pinky. 1 Panzer IV is a combat loss. The other one's a bit of damage. Engine T-34s are rolling up behind it. And that's a disaster for the Grossdeutschland. More T-34s are homing in. The Panzer IV is doing what he can. 1 T-34 goes down, but ultimately... Oh no, the Panzer IV is abandoned. That's an absolutely excellent trade-off right there for Pinky. He got 1 T-34 down, but he got the Panzer IV in return. That's quite a trade-off. And ultimately means that he's still going to be at 5 tanks. So nasty work right there. We do see some Grenadiers moving south. But a right blow there to the Grossdeutschland. Though again, he's going to need those T-34s repaired, every single one of them that needs repairs, including that Bet-22, because again, that's going to be important. We're seeing a reaction here. Festung support. The Grossdeutschland digs its heels in and prepares for the defensive until more armoured forces can be mustered. And there we go, like the Feldhaubitze being rolled up to the front. Lighter of the German howitzers for more long distance combat, though they did actually have heavy artillery, and also light artillery meant more for frontline units. The Infanterie Geschütz, they had the Leichte and they had the Schwere. And for Panzergrenadier divisions, who had actually been self-propelled, getting something a bit like an Su-76 just with a very much bigger gun, as was based on the Marder chassis. So again, some fun facts there. But there we go again, designated workshop, pulling all those T-34s back together. 5 T-34s again and a Panzer IV. This is what you call bad news. Not entirely awful news, though. Because if Steven can reach this correctly, he might still be able to pull through, though it's going to be rather painful and difficult. In fact, we're seeing one of the Panzer squads has now been equipped with a light machine gun as well. So we're seeing preparations being made for such an assault. The howitzer is ready, bereit. Take on the Bolshevik foe. Mortar fires away. And of course, looks like Steven might... Oh, spots the assault going up down south. Continues. And artillery being fired. At the ice. He's going to cut off any sign of retreat here. And we see the T-34s rushing straight into the Panzerstreiks and the pack. Absolutely devastating defensive fire. T-34 almost down, almost down. We're getting quite good at this job. Yes, indeed. Trying to get through the ice. Panzerstreik finishes off. Absolutely devastating defense right there against Pinky. His T-34s there are utterly lost, and only one man was lost in return. Though we do still see they have the Panzer IV, but definitely that did not quite work out there for Pinky. It was a rather unsupported assault. And we're not seeing more mines again. I really think Pinky is missing a huge opportunity when he's not mining, or for example progressing up here to take points. In that sense, Pinky can get a bit too defensive, a bit too passive in his play. There's a certain lack of, pursuit ability that's lacking in his play. And which is actually giving Steven time to recover and push back. And looks like some artillery going in there, or a strafing run. Yes, indeed. IL-2. Whoops, a bit too far away, and there we go. Capturing the Panzer Grenadiers in its line of fire.
You have a fire mission.
Quick retreat there through the remainders of the ice and sea. Or the icy lake. Looks quite deep. And a bit of artillery firing into... Trying to catch something, not quite luck. Grenadiers pushing up, so Steven not going to be just throwing in more Panzer Grenadiers at it. One kill so far. Finally a bit of northwards movement again from Pinky. Panzer IV waiting to do something against the fascists in their own fascist tank. Quickly moving up and opening up the Grenadiers, who actually stole themselves an anti-tank rifle and a Panzerstreik. But ultimately they are forced away at the might of the Panzerkampfwagen 4.
Enemy Panzer IV! Panzer IV is ready for battle.
And finally the Grossdeutschland are able to send in some fresh armour to support their men at the front. At least this part of the front. Pinky immediately setting up a fresh T-34. And immediately coming under fire from that pack with veterans who won.
Enemy forces are secure.
Very close to getting veterans on that one, which would actually be very bad news. This one taking points. Good job. Pinky getting the most out of his armour, but again, at the same time, I feel he could be playing a bit more aggressively. At times, and again, more mines. Mines wins wars. simply put. And I think that's rather what Pinky's missing. But it's time for the mid-game analysis. It's time to have a look at how things are progressing. Pinky's currently holding most of the front. He's got the most tanks. He's got the most everything, in fact. What he might be lacking a bit is veterans. In that case, Steven does hold more veterans. He also has the considerably heavier artillery, and thus he has something a bit extra punch for the offensives, a bit of a local force multiplier to wherever it's applied. And of course, a lot of things Pinky could do, you know, to shore up his defenses. Again, he's playing defensively, then he should prepare fully, which means mines, you know, mines also securing this, so there's more room that he has to move on. Of course, mining the ice about here, in fact, I'll just show, but right around here, mining the ice could prove very, very unpleasant for Steven. In particular, if a tank finds itself moving out here, one mine could very well send it to the bottom of the river. So that is something, you know, always to consider on ice maps. You know, mine the ice, it seems a bit odd, I know, but, you know, if you can send something to the bottom of the ice, who's complaining? So again, something, but also you need to keep up a bit more sharp when you're sending back tanks for the infantry. But again, you know, mine up this, mine up here, create a localized reserve. I mean, the T-34s are not really good defensive tanks, they're more offensive, so you should rather save them up for a counter-attack force, you know, to attack the enemy after he should, you know, sort of use some of his wind and rush in and shoot up some stuff, ram a few other things. That is what he should be continuing for Steven. On the other hand, it's about breaking the back. Of course, he should probably try and punch through here and hopefully draw him into a nasty engagement, which Pinky cannot win. If he might have some success there, although again, also fighting up here or here might have some, of course, successful endeavours. And of course, you know, proper utilization of his doctrine will also benefit him. I mean, he's got smoke drops, he's got relief infantry, though again, not really a lot of use it, but you know, try it, I suppose, once in a while. I think they're working on that one still. And of course, he's got sector artillery, and proper use of that one can really devastate your opponent. But let's head back to Pinky, who of course could also continue, you know, getting up a Howard, so that would really be excellent on the defensive, you know, blowing up the attacking fascists with some very big rounds. Well, let's return to the fight. There you go, strafing round. Oh, clears out the Panzerabwehrkanone. Steven, of course, might want to consider some Ostwind. Panzer IV immediately encounters spirited resistance from the Russians and is forced to pull back. His Panzer Grenadiers getting absolutely massacred by the Sturmovik rolling in.
The enemy still has 300 points.
Howitzer so far not really getting a lot of kills. Blowing up a bit of the ice. But Steven so far having a bit of trouble finding some good ground, some traction in all of this. And there we go, Pinky immediately rushing in, stealing back the pack.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
We're stealing himself another pack. Oh, looks like it gets away, looks like it gets away. Oh, the absolute nerve from that Pinky. Veterans on the mortar. Northern point being secured. Comp engineer sneaking about, and there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 4. Oh, good, and Steven restoring to an assault, but up here in the north, where he's hoping to encounter less resistance, I imagine. And there we go. T-34 coming under fire. Oh, Grenadiers taking absolutely punishing losses. Fire as well. And quickly Pinky responds with more of his tanks to counterattack the German one. Forces away, Grenadiers on the run. In the meanwhile, though, the centre has been opened up since Pinky draws away everything from there. Panzer IV looks actually to be allowed to escape there by Pinky. Another mistake again. Pinky just lacks that bit of extra aggression to really punish his opponent for mistakes. Instead, he's allowing Steven to actually pull back not far from the front lines and repair it in nice peace and quiet. That's really not something that should be allowed to happen. We do see here T-34 moving up from the south, opening up all the panzer gunners and the other things. Penal troops holding up position in the watchtower.
Infantry engaging us. We have taken it. Supply sector under attack.
And also Pinky pushing down south there. Lovely, lovely. Panzer gunners need to pull out, as now the T-34s are bombarding them. And again, note here, 6 tanks, one of them a Panzer IV. It's really sad he's not just pushing in, because if he just rolled in, all of it in right now, he could probably actually crash Stephen.
Sniper now available for duty.
Which is definitely a bit of a shame. But clearly he's worried that Stephen might have something up his sleeve, which is certainly always a good thing to consider. In particular, considering there's nothing telling out, of course, there are 2 doctors with howitzers. There is nothing telling his opponent if he's using one or the other. For all he knows, Stephen is using the joint strike doctrine, which also gives him ability to head out of Pack 43. And if he tries to rush in, of course, encounters a Pack 43, he's pretty much buggered. But there you go again, taking a point with the T-34. He actually needs to stop that immediately. And there we go. Panzer 4 support by the howitzer, pushing up. Stephen though needs more armour to really get the most out of this one. Shock troopers. Oh, direct hit by the howitzer. Nasty thing right there, nasty thing.
Yes, comrade. We heard you. Guard squad ready.
10 kills on the howitzer. The rest of
Command.
Stephen's troops are reinforcing.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Moving up secure there, although they might be close to finishing death. And we actually see now that Pinky's actually suffered some quite heavy losses to his infantry. Probably in part due to that howitzer, amongst other things. And we're actually seeing snipers now being dispatched to prop up the front here for Stephen by causing some attrition right there on the end. He's holding all the fuel points, but again, he's giving Stephen a chance. No, he's actually keeping out on the ice, and it actually looks rather weak, ice. He needs to be careful. Get it out of there. Get out of there, Pinky. Or it will go down like the Titanic if it was shot at by tanks. Looks like it made out of there, but now Stephen needs to be careful himself. He doesn't get suffer the same fate out on the ice. And he actually tries to ram it. He tries to ram it, but the tank crew keeps it cool and blows it up. So Pinky just lost one of his tanks. Bit unfortunate there, and still he's not quite utilising it. He's not pushing in. Instead, he's allowing Stephen to build up an armoured fist once more. And in fact, the close proximity of his tanks now allow the howitzers to bombard them.
Our enemy has only 200
And rushing straight at head now, looks like he might finally have had enough. Panzer Force moving in. Panzer is doing what they can with their Panzerschrecks. And there we go, nasty loss. Dropping up Panzerschreck. Panzer 4 moving up. Artillery continues to fire away. You might see, there we go. No, that's the Panzer 4 was actually lost. But the other Panzer 4 gets lost as well. We're seeing sector artillery going down in a desperate bid to hold the front. Strafing runs almost knocking out the Panzer 4. This is getting rather dangerously close here for Stephen. He could try and pop in some smoke to cover its retreat, but it looks like he's not interested in that. And the sector artillery is actually coming his retreat, but no. There we go, T-34 on the move. And then actually pulls away. Seems like Pinky can't decide what he wants to do, which is a bit of a shame, Mentions one for the howitzer, giving it the counter barrage ability, but there's not really much artillery for him to counter. Conscripts now being rushed out to hold up the front line as small T-34s arrive. And Stephen's basically going by the, well, you know, fire it blindly, hope to get lucky doctrine of artillery, which is not necessarily the best of doctrines, but I suppose, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Panzer 4 getting repaired. His active veterans is 1, which is something considering most of his other tanks have so far gone horribly explodey. And there you go, actually again using the T-34 here to capture points, and against the more durable one, because Veteran 2 also gives them a slight damage reduction thing there, so they're actually tougher. And again using his T-34 to take territory. Well done there by Pinky. Always nice to see. We're actually seeing here what... Oh, smoke actually popping in. Smoke allowing Stephen's panzergrenadiers to move into all of it. I'm not sure if that's a 100% good idea considering they're tanks. And we're seeing a counter-strafing run, but he can't apparently see the panzergrenadiers. This is fascinating. Panzer IV moving in from the north. Second Panzer IV arriving there. Panzergrenadiers doing what they can, but they are taking withering fire as conscripts are moving in as well. Conscripts with submachine guns and flamethrowers. One squad of panzergrenadiers goes down, dropping another Panzerschreck, forcing them away. Quite a shame, but Panzer IV arrives from the north. Opens up there in the two T-34s. Second one moves in. Pack can't decide where to turn. Might open up for this one to open up, but no. Anti-tank grenades perhaps. No? Apparently not.
They've opened up on us.
And Sector Artillery on the conscript. Stephen absolutely wants them dead, it seems. And this Panzer IV is almost veteran too. And there we go. Conscript squad almost wiped out. Stephen's wrath knows no bounds. And continued usage of the T-34 to take territory again. Very rare, but Pinky definitely seems to be one of those who actually gets it, which is also why I rather want to show this replay. So again, good usage there. And there we go, Veteran 2 Panzerkampfwagenfear gets one of the T-34s. Another one might go down. There we go. This one needs to get out of that Panzer IV, but really nasty losses there applied. Very nasty losses. And abandoned. Oh dear. Guards Infantry continues to do what they can, and a Panzer IV, T-34 moves in. He's still got 3 of them, but he's keeping the veterans too far away from all the fighting, which might have been a mistake right here, allowing the Panzer IV to get the most of the rest. And another one sent to an icy doom. T-34 here under fire from the veterans. Oh, snipers! Under fire. Almost veteran free, in fact. And there we go, sniper team down. And he's actually moving out on the ice. It's trying to escape, but now Stephen will not have it. Blitzkrieg. He's going to hunt it down and end its miserable life. And there we go. It's abandoned. But here, of course, we see what might Stephen do. And there we go, in fact. Going to wreck it. Again, attack ground. Select the vehicle. That's how you do it. If you want to deny a vehicle to your opponent, yours or theirs, attack ground with something that can destroy it. So there we go. Well done by Stephen. Another nice little showcase there of things. He decided he could not take it, and thus he didn't bother. But really, he's not getting the most out of that Panzer IV.
Tank! Don't give it a target!
Now there's only the Veteran 2 T-34 versus the Veteran 2 Panzer IV. And that Panzer IV is soon going to be Veteran free, which means he's going to be doing extra damage as well. And that one, on the other hand, seen any combat for some time, so it's going to be considerably less impressive at that. And there we go. He's actually going to hunt it down. He's seen it. Thanks to the watchtower. Blitzkrieging up. Getting behind it, getting within range, so he can't actually just ram it in. Oh. And there we go. Veteran free Panzer IV. I think that's the second time, third time actually, I think I've seen one. They're quite rare, but obviously when you get it, they mean something. So good on Stephen right there. And that's definitely going to be one hell of an ace, and that's definitely going to be one hell of a nightmare for Pinky now.
Guard squad ready.
So that is very bad news for Pinky and the 30th Tank Corps.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
So yeah, all of a sudden the tank has been gutted again, tried to use the T-34s in a way they didn't really succeed in. And I suppose another thing he could have done, you know, besides just mining, is actually gone for the mechanized armor company and then gun himself some SU-85s, which probably would have benefited his player style after that more better. And there you go, he's not even bothering to repair it, he's just going to keep pushing it. Though if he loses it, it's going to probably be game over. It's actually time to pop back to Stephen. Getting more Panzer Grenadiers. Quite confident in his veteran T-Fleet Panzer IV. And there go the T-34s actually moving up. Blitzkrieg out there just in case. As the strafing run moves in. And there, oh, just tearing through those veteran T-Fleet Panzer Grenadiers as they were made of nothing. And the tank gets them. Oh dear. Bad news right there. If he gets out on the ice, that could be very, very dangerous. If he's caught and the ice breaks, that could be a very expensive mistake right there for Stephen. But it looks like not. Brief advance right there. Needs to be careful though, needs to be careful. He needs all of his T-34s focused. If he wants to get it, he needs to ram it. And of course, except for once, he's only really tried ramming the tanks only once, which is actually quite curious. But I imagine Stephen is not complaining. There you go, the veteran T2 Panzer IV, T-34 moving up, immediately coming up. And note here, even with the veteran T2 bonuses, it takes it down to almost half health in one shot. I mean, a veteran T3 Panzer IV is a force in its own right. And there we go, another T-34 down. That was the veteran T2 T-34. There you go, second one moving up, but can't really do much, although the Panzer IV is almost down. And we actually see this Panzer IV still there. My God. I thought that had been wrecked, and now he's getting... He actually moves it in! He moves it in, blitzes it in! And gets it! Tried to ram Stephen's Panzer IV, but he gets it! Another T-34 rolling up. Points are very low for Stephen and the Grossdeutschland, when you mention what might be banked on here by Pinky. And there we go, just moving in that Panzer IV, first shot misses. And there we go, almost took it out right there, almost. You know, it's a very much, you know, game of chicken. Who wants to get the last shot in? Who dares to get it in? Because if either one gets it wrong, they've got a tank lost. And of course, in this case, Stephen realises he's got the most to lose. If he loses that Panzer IV, he might just be completely gone there. In fact, he's blitzkrieging back for repairs. And again, really good usage of the blitzkrieg ability. Again, something to note. He's actually making good usage of his veterancy ability. In fact, both are, and that's actually quite rare to watch amongst, you know, both players so far, at least on most of the replays we've seen so far. But here at the high levels, we're actually seeing good usage of the veterancy abilities. That's quite nice. And again, something I really think people should consider. And again, if Pinky had been mining ore, he might probably be standing in a much better situation now. But either way, he's certainly not been doing rubbish. Another Panzer IV arrives. Howitzer almost veteran to 2. Guardians, it looks like another strafing run right there. Panzer IV moving up. Panzer goes immediately running away as the cannon rounds just hammer into the ground. Panzer IV marches through the fire. And Grenadiers up north do what they can, but they are taking considerable losses themselves. And another T-34 moves through the snow, through the moonlight. And there we go, the veteran's fleet, Panzer IV is fully combat ready.
We have 50 points remaining. Panzer IV standing by.
Panzer IV moves up. And that T-34 It's not really doing too well. Again, Pinky's now encountering problems now that he no longer has that mass of T-34s he once previously did. And there we go. Panzer IV scores the kill. And there we go. Knocking it out. More tanks are being shipped forwards. But it is not looking good. It is not looking good.
This sector is secured. You need something?
And a bit of artillery as well. For the good of the fatherland. Needs to be a bit careful with the eyes though. It'd be a damn shame to suddenly lose all of those in one nasty shot. But the Grossdeutschland holds out. Despite in this case suffering rather high losses amongst the panzers. Which is a shame. Come on, Fraps. Don't give up on me now. Don't fail me. I suppose I could just call it game over and just continue from there. Yeah, there's pretty much it. Few minutes left. Game over. Now then, a victory for the Germans, a victory for the Grossdeutschland. Bit of a nasty fight here. We saw Pinky, had dominance. He had most of the map. Then it rather fell through when he had to defend. I know he chose to defend. He could have pushed on easily, but didn't. Which of course is certainly one thing. But then he came to defending and he couldn't quite do it. He didn't mine. He didn't prepare at all, which is rather a problem. I think he only laid down one mine throughout this match, which really should not have been the case. He should have laid down a lot more. He should have made it much more difficult for Stephen to make an approach. That's for starters. You could also consider, going for the mechanized armor company, getting some SU-85s that way, having a mix of the two, and using the SU-85s greater range and armor, thus frontal armor anyways, to hold back the German attackers as well. That could also have made it very painful for Stephen to advance. And finally, he could have considered, laying up howitzer himself and, just bombarding Stephen's attacks, trying to break them up with raw brute force that way. Definitely, there were several approaches that Pinky could have gone for. In fact, three of them defensive, one of them offensive, which just basically meant going all in with his tanks. Neither of which happened. Instead, he just used them defensively, which T-34-76 is definitely not really useful in. And ultimately, that rather became his demise, as it gave Stephen enough time to regroup and also ensured he could get the most mobility out during an attack. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own, provide some feedback in the comments, share with your friends, all that. This is Imperial Danes.